Hello singers, hi vocal teachers. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is my fourth video and today I'm going to talk about an interesting thing in vocal technique, which is the science. So I'm going to tell you that some things are actually based on scientific facts. So the vocal cord closure, for example, is based on scientific fact, is based on physics, and it's not only about imaginations we hear in the vocal lesson. It's not about metaphors. We need to have scientifically facts why something is really happening, what is the physics about it, and also the anatomical part. We need to feel it on our body. We have to grab it, we have to feel the muscle work, and we have to explain why things are happening while for example we are doing an appoggio. So we need to look into science as well in order to explain vocal technique, and that is possible. And today I'm going to talk about three important terms in vocal technique. Two of them are based on anatomical facts, like your muscle work, which you can grab, which you can feel in your body and reproduce it. And the third term I'm going to explain you today is actually based on scientific fact, on science physics. Okay, so let me start with the first two terms. The first one is appoggio. As you know, I am the appoggio queen. I like to talk about appoggio. This is really very important, and but I'm not going to do a whole video about appoggio this time, because if you want to look up appoggio in detail, just watch one of my videos called Appoggio Technique, okay, on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to explain appoggio in 5 minutes, but I'm doing this because the second term I was gonna explain you today is la lotta vocale. Did you ever hear about that? That also in French called la lutte vocale, or in English vocal struggle or vocal contest. That is actually a big part of appoggio, and this term was founded by Lampertis, Giovanni Battista Lamperti and Francesco Lamperti created la lotta vocale term, very connected to the appoggio technique they also created. Before I start with the appoggio refreshing of your mind, I just want to tell you, I know many things about Lamperti because of this book, and because of this is Vocal Wisdom from Giovanni Battista Lamperti, and I know that Richard Miller, which came after that, he supports their appoggio technique and is also citing a lot of citations of Lamperti in his book. So you can also read Solutions for Singers from Richard Miller, which explains appoggio also very, very well. Okay. This Vocal Wisdom is an old book, and it's very it's hard to read. It's kind of poetical a little bit, so if you have difficulties to understand their language, then just read Richard Miller's Solutions for Singers, or Securing Soprano Voices, or Securing Baritone Voices, like this one. This is also from Richard Miller, and there he has a lot of terms. He's explaining terms in vocal technique. So let me start refreshing, and you can see this is the board of my 4-year-old daughter, and she already used it with her design. She's very creative. So okay, this is an upper body with which I'm going to explain you the appoggio. Let me see if you can see that. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, so here it is, the upper body. Good. With this drawing, I'm going to explain you appoggio in 5 minutes, and la lotta vocale as well. Okay, I hope you can see it. If not, just use a bigger screen. Okay, guys, appoggio has 3 parts for me. Again, appoggio has 3 parts for me. First part is breathing in. Okay, First part is breathing in. I'm just going to write in. Second part is for beginners only. They can do a breath stop here. Okay? That breath stop, I'm going to explain right now, is just a tool to maintain the posture of inhalation as long as possible, or just to feel the body, because the beginner, they don't have the same body feelings like a professional opera singer already. So we need to give them time to explain and observe the body. And the third step is actually the breathing out, which is the singing, right? We want to remind ourselves that breathing out is singing, beginning students. You know that, right? So, breathing in, doing a breath stop, and then breathing out. Then you know what Appoggio is. And in between, I'm going to explain you the term la lotta vocale, what that is. It's a big part of Appoggio, okay? Now, let's imagine we are breathing in. What is happening in an opera singer's body when you're breathing in? What should move? That's it. We are breathing in. So, when you're breathing in, you just have to do this. Take your two fingers, your thumb and this, put it on the sides of the ribs, the end of the ribs. After that would be already flesh. So, take the ribs from your sides, yeah? And then, when you breathe in, just move them out, okay? Move them out. Let's do this. See? Did you see my fingers? They just moved like this. Again, put the air out of your body, and then again, move the ribs outwards. That's it, okay? So, we're gonna draw this because we don't want to forget about this. So, the air came in and moved the sides of our ribs outward. Okay? Now our ribs look like this. Okay? Our ribs are now out, expanded. Okay? What else happens when you expand your ribs outwards? And that is very important. Your diaphragm goes down. And let me tell you this. When no air is in your body, your diaphragm looks like this. Like a chapel, yeah? But once you put in some air for singing, your diaphragm changes its form to a frisbee and is getting flat. Let's do this. Let's put some air into and move our ribs out. Expand our expand our ribs. Okay, so when you feel your ribs just went out, just moved out, then you have a good chance that your diaphragm just went down and changed to a frisbee. Okay, changed to a frisbee. So our ribs and our diaphragm looks like this. Okay, so ribs are out, diaphragm is down, perfect. And this posture now, this inhalation posture we call it, yeah? This is the perfect posture for a singer to start singing. That's why Lamperti said, hey, keep the posture of inhalation as long as possible in your singing, because it's the perfect posture for singers to produce sound, because the diaphragm is down, because the ribs are out, okay? We have a lot of air inside and we can work with the air going through our vocal cords, okay? So this is the perfect posture for a singer to sing. Now, when we start singing, of course, we lose air. And when we lose air, our ribs will collapse and our diaphragm will go back into his chapel form. That's normal. If you lose all the precious air, the ribs go back in their to their original point, and the diaphragm goes to a chapel. And that is not a good posture for singing. So that means we have to keep this posture of inhalation as long as possible, guys. And how can we do that? Okay, now the abdominal muscles come join us English. Now the abdominal muscles join us. This is actually the third step. We actually skipped the second step. I will just explain the second step right now before I go to the third step, okay? Now, beginners, if you want to feel this inhalation posture very well, do a stop after inhalation. Let me show you. So, let's inhale again. Let's take the hands on your side. Move it out with your breath. Your diaphragm just went down, and we want to keep this posture for a moment. And that we can do by stopping our breath. How can we stop our breath? Do you know that feeling of vomiting or throwing up? This, yeah, do this. Right after you took a breath, you expanded your ribs. Right after that, just do the stop. Okay, let's do this one more time. And stop. And you will feel like something is closing here. Your vocal cords are actually closing your body and letting no air pass by. Okay? When I'm talking, of course, I'm losing air. With this breath stop, guys, yeah, let's do this. With this breath stop, you will learn, sorry, I have to put this. So, with this breath stop, you will feel how it feels when your ribs are outside, how it feels when your diaphragm is down. We can keep this wonderful inhalation posture for a moment. Of course, not very long, but we can keep it and memorize our body muscles and let our muscles memorize this in order to produce it again and to reproduce it and also to observe our bodies. What do we feel? Let's observe our bodies with a breath stop. What do we feel during a breath stop? Let's do this. Inhale and breath stop, okay? So when I do the breath stop, I feel kind of muscle contraction here, okay? And that is actually the diaphragm who says, hello, I'm a frisbee now and I don't want to be a chapel again. Please don't let me go back because I want to stay in this wonderful inhalation posture. That's your diaphragm, the muscle contraction that you just felt, that's a diaphragm, okay? So that's good. Observe your body, feel your muscles. Where is my diaphragm? Where are my ribs? What are they doing? How does it feel? So professional singers ignore that, yeah? So this is only for step 2, which I'm going to put as an option, okay? You don't have to do this, just if you're a beginning student. Now, let's go back to step 3, which was breathing out, okay? So, we just breathed in, we expanded our ribs outwards, and we lowered our diaphragm, okay? Now we are breathing out, we are singing, right? Once we want to sing, the lower abdominal muscles, which are here, are coming in action. Once we sing, or once we do something like a s or sh, which is the same thing like you're singing, your belly is doing the same thing while singing when you do an S. So it's a very good training tool to feel what the body feels like when you're singing. So just do an S or a sh, then you will feel, that's what my belly doing while singing. Okay, let's do this. Let's do an S. S, and then s, 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 or sh. That way you will feel your lower abdominals. Where are they? How do they feel like? That's what should happen while I'm singing. Okay, so that means we were here. We expanded our ribs and we lowered our diaphragm. And now we are going to do step 3, which is breathing out. Okay, and when we want to breathe out, we just pull the belly inside, our lower in the abdominals here. We pull them inside. And what is happening? Let's do this. We will do it with an S or a sh. Let's do an S, okay? So first step, breathing in, expanding the ribs, lowering the diaphragm, which is happening automatically. And then doing, right after that, we pull the belly inside with an S. Okay, let's do this. And and now, while you're doing that S, observe your body. What do you feel? That's what's really happening is the following. The muscle of inhalation are still there. They're saying, no, we're not going to disappear so fast. And the muscles of exhalation, which is the lower abdominals, which we just pushed in with an S, is saying, but we are here to push the air out of your body again. So actually, the muscles of inhalation and the muscles of exhalation, which was the lower abdominals who just went pulled into your body, these two muscle groups are now encountering, meeting each other in the middle of your body. Here, when you do you will feel kind of a pressure against each other. Two muscle groups, the muscle of inhalation, muscle of expiration or exhalation, are opposing each other, are pressuring against each other or fighting each other, which is actually the next term already that I was going to discuss. La lotta vocale is the contest or the fight between the two muscle groups. The group of the abdominal muscles, let me put this back so you see it. The abdominal muscles who want to push the air again out of your body, and the inhalation muscles, which were the diaphragm went down and the ribs went up. These two muscles are now fighting against each other. When you do this, you will feel this sandwich effect, I call it, this opposing effect. Just observe your body. Be very open for feeling your muscles. Yeah, you will for sure feel that feeling of opposing, of pressuring right in the middle of your body. Let's do this again. So we take a breath and then so you will feel muscle contraction here, and that muscle contraction is actually the fight against between the muscle of inhalation and the muscle of exhalation. Okay, and that is good. This contest is called la lotta vocale in Italian. It's called la lutte vocale in French, and it's called vocal struggle or vocal contest in English. And that is a term you need to know. It is a very important term because it is the big part of Appoggio. It explains why we need to do the contest in order to maintain the posture of inhalation as long as possible. And you remember what the posture of inhalation was? The posture of inhalation was the wide ribs and the lowered diaphragm. This posture of inhalation is a perfect posture for singing. It's great because all the precious air can stay longer in your body and we can work with that air. Okay? So we need to prolong the posture of inhalation with this fight against the lower abdominals and the muscle of inhalations. And that we can create with this feeling right after breathing. Okay? So breathing, expand your ribs and your diaphragm will go down automatically. And then right after that, you do the feeling in your abdominals, in your lower abdominals, and that way you create that vocal contest, that la lotta vocale feeling, the two muscle groups who fight against each other for keeping this inhalation posture as long as possible, which is perfect for singing. Okay, so, and the whole thing, the whole breathing management with the breathing in and everything together, that is the Appoggio. The la lotta vocale is the fight or the contest between the two muscle groups.